What is up, guys? In this video we're going to go over timers. So to start, let's go into our CC obstacle generator class. How this class is going to work is it's going to have a timer that is called every designated number of seconds that we give it, which is going to create an obstacle that's going to move across our screen. So to start, let's declare our timer at the top because it's going to be used in multiple functions of the class. So we're going to say var timer, and this is going to be of type NSTimer. So NSTimer is part of Xcode's foundation framework, and this is the class we're going to use that's going to make it easy to set up this kind of timing mechanism we want. So now we're going to create a method. It's going to be called start generating obstacles with interval. It's kind of a mouthful, but it defines exactly what it's going to do. Start generating obstacles with interval. It's going to have a parameter of interval of type NSTimeInterval. And remember, NSTimeInterval, all it is basically Xcode's way of defining seconds. So we're going to have start generating obstacles with interval, and within this function, it's literally just going to do one thing. All it's going to do is it's going to define our timer, and it's going to start it. So we're going to say timer equals NSTimer, and it has this constructor method called scheduled timer with time interval. You want to make sure you get the one that says target and not invocation, just because this makes it easier for us. And we're going to say NSTimeInterval. We want this timer to be called every interval. The target is going to be self. Essentially what this is doing is you're defining what object has the function that we want to get called. And for our selector, we're going to say generate random obstacle. User info, we're going to be nil. And just to define the selector, the generate random obstacle is going to be the function that is called. So we're going to create another function down here after we finish this. And last but not least, repeats. We want this to be true. So this just means the timer is going to repeat constantly every interval number of seconds. Cool, so let's define the generate random obstacle function now. So func generates random obstacle. And for now, let's just say prints generate random obstacle. We just want to make sure we can get this working before we actually implement this behavior. And we're going to implement the actual behavior in another video. So now that we have the basics of this timer set up, let's jump into our game scene class. And just to test this out, let's go into the tapped method. Instead of, actually along with making the hero run, let's do generator dot start generating obstacles with interval, and let's just pass in 1. So for every 1 second, that function should be called if we did everything correctly. So let's just run this really fast. A quick way to change this window size too is if you press Command 1, 2, or 3, it just kind of changes the size of it. Just kind of a quick shortcut you guys can use. So as soon as this loads up, we're just going to tap. So I'm going to tap. And you see right there, it says generate random obstacle, and it's like it's calling that method every second, which is pretty cool. So you can do a lot with timers. So that's going to be the intro. In the next video, we're going to organize our game scene a little more, and after that, we're actually going to implement this generate random obstacle method.